When you think about Stardom, it's hard to ignore Kagetsu. She has fast become one of the most important people in Stardom because of her charisma and insane athletic ability in the ring. Originally not from Stardom, Kagetsu started out in Sendai Girls under Meiko Satomura. It's insane to think that someone not originally from Stardom could rise up the ranks like she did. I don't mean placement on the card either. Kagetsu has become an important person behind the scenes for this company. In this video, I will talk about why Kagetsu deserves all of the praise that I'm going to be giving her in this video. I stated before that Kagetsu originally started out in Sendai Girls. She would wrestle for them for a couple of years before finally branching out into her own freelance job. Unlike a lot of other freelancers nowadays that quit their original promotion just to transition into the promotion they really want to wrestle at, Kagetsu seemed that she actually originally wanted to be a freelancer. It wouldn't be until 2016 that Kagetsu would work with Stardom for the first time ever. Initially, she wasn't very fond of the promotion, but once she started working with them and training with them, she realized their spirit and determination, and realized they had a lot in common. She would go on to work with Stardom until early 2017, where she had an eye-opening experience that made her question her career choice. According to this interview from 2017, Kagetsu said, "As a freelancer, I wasn't putting up any results. I was working for a lot of promotions and challenging for a lot of titles. But no matter what I did, I couldn't claim any singles belts. That was irritating enough on its own. To top it off, this past March in Nagoya, I challenged Io for her World of Stardom belt. And not long afterwards, I had a match for a major singles belt that Hiroyo Matsumoto held in another promotion. These were huge chances for me. I was confident that the way things were going, I was in a position to claim the top belts in two different promotions. I thought that definitely changed things for me. I put more into those matches than ever before. Leaned into them wholeheartedly, and I didn't win even one of those belts. To be honest, I just couldn't bounce back from that. The next day I held a press conference to announce I'd be taking a break. You want to say, okay, so I lost, but I'll get them next time. But that was definitely not how I felt. I stepped back from wrestling and took a long, hard look at myself. I'd always talked a big game about a clash between generations, about how it was time for a changing of the guard and so on. I'd been so entirely focused on what was above me, but I realized that no matter how hard you try, you can't cause a generational shift all by yourself. It was pointless if you don't lift up everyone below you as well. That realization was at least part of what brought me back to Stardom. After this realization, Kagetsu had a newfound passion to help lift the next generation instead of trying to do it herself. If you know anything about Kagetsu, you know that she is exactly how she wished to be. During the same interview mentioned earlier, Kagetsu said this, "But I get that now I'm in a position where I have to take on some responsibility for the promotion. Keeping that in mind, maybe not directly, but going forward, I want to have some role in developing younger talent." That is exactly what she went on to do. She went on to become the main trainer for the trainees of Stardom after Fuka left the company. People were a little worried though. With Fuka, there was a track record that we could see and believe in. She had done a wonderful job training the trainees up until that point. But with Kagetsu, there was no track record, so there were some worries. Those worries seemed to be unfounded though, as after the first two trainees came out under her reign, it was clear that she knew what she was doing. Saya Ida and Utami Hayashishita. I dare anyone to look at those two and say that Kagetsu is a bad trainer. With Kagetsu training the new girls, we see just how good she is at bringing out the best in other people. The personality that we see in the ring for Kagetsu is clearly not how she really is in real life. If you watched anything from behind the scenes, you would know that Kagetsu is a sweet and loving person. Her being a loving and sweet person has never been more prevalent than when she acts with another wrestler. She's taken Hazuki under her wing, she has given Azumi more screen time, and she helps push other wrestlers when they need to be pushed. With one storyline, she has simultaneously pushed Azumi and Hazuki into reoccurring characters. She brought Sumire into a company that would allow her to flourish and show her skills. She gave Nao a new job when the job became too hard for her. She helped Mayu with her merch sales. She constantly takes a back seat in the promos to let other members in Odotai shine more. Going through each one by one, let's start with the storyline that involves both Azumi and Hazuki. As most of you know, Kagetsu has started acting very interested in Azumi. This in two ways helps Azumi a lot. The first is by allowing her to be seen more, as Kagetsu is a main player in the company. If she is talking about or chasing Azumi all of the time, then Azumi is getting the spotlight as well. The second way it helps Azumi is that it makes Azumi look better. If one of the top of the company and one of the best wrestlers around is obsessed with this other person, it makes the other person look desirable. Meaning, she is kind of programming people to see Azumi as someone worth obsessing over. This storyline also helps Hazuki in many ways as well. One of the same is as Azumi. It allows her to be in the spotlight more than she would otherwise. With her act of being jealous and upset of Kagetsu's behavior towards Azumi, the second way it helps Hazuki is that it shows us a side of Hazuki we have never seen. It adds more character and nuances to her. Now when we see her acting all cool and uncaring about things, it puts it in perspective because we know something that can actually break her shell. Next, she found Sumire and felt she would be a good fit in with the Stardom world. She was completely correct, of course. We also learned that the storyline of Kagetsu not telling the other members of Odotai about it beforehand was actually true. She had faith in both Sumire and the rest of her team to make the situation good, and they did. It shows that she truly believes in them to make the best out of any situation. Next, you guys remember Nao, right? That Gravier model that was in Stardom for a bit? Well, as she said in her farewell speech when she retired, is that she was having a really hard time in Stardom. To be a wrestler, you either need to be really tough physically and mentally, or it needs to be your dream job. You need passion. For her, it wasn't something she dreamed of, but something she felt she needed to try. When she was having serious doubts about it and was really sad, Kagetsu took her aside and talked about it with her. Kagetsu then decided to bring her on as Odotai's manager. Honestly, when I first heard the story, I was really touched. It was the first time that the kindness of Kagetsu was shown to everyone. Some of you may remember a time when Kagetsu would come out to the ring with Mayu's towel every match. She would wipe her armpits with it. This was, in my opinion, an amazingly well done way of helping Mayu with her towel merch sales. A lot of the time, the girls are not that great at advertising their merch. Starlet Kid. It was pretty amazing to see someone so naturally advertise someone else's merch. One thing that has been kind of connected with Kagetsu for a while now is her sliding into the background. She used to be very upfront and in your face about being the focus. Now that she has joined Stardom and is focused on raising the next generation, you can see a change in her. She is now there to allow the members of Odotai to shine more by giving them the spotlight. She never tries to overshadow anyone. She is always there to highlight them instead. She is incredibly selfless. So there you have it. Some of the main reasons why I believe Kagetsu is technically Stardom's leader, one of the more important people in the promotion. She might not be as famous or well liked as, say, Mayu, or she's not the ace like Momo, and she might not even have world renown like Hana, but I believe that there isn't a single other person in the promotion who is as important as Kagetsu is to those girls. She is selfless. She has no problem helping them rise up above herself. She helps these girls become the wrestlers that we all know and love. Out of all of the people that they could have brought to their promotion, I believe in the beginning, Kagetsu being one of them probably wasn't on anyone's mind. Back then, she really wasn't the type of person you think would go too far in your company. But because of her actual personality, her complete mindset shift, and everything she's done up until now, I believe that Kagetsu joining Stardom is probably one of the biggest things for the company in the last 5 years. She has done so much for it that it's hard to deny that Kagetsu is Stardom's leader.